Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a huge Star Wars Outlaws news update as we have just received a ton of brand new information this week about multiple upcoming gameplay updates alongside a bunch of new information about the upcoming first story DLC, that being Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard. Today we're going to sit down and we're going to break it all down for you, but first, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It'll notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. And if you'd like to take this conversation beyond the comment section on YouTube, make sure to head over to Twitter and follow us at Lunar Squadron, or jump into our Discord server. All of the information for that will be down below. Now, with all that out of the way, Andreas, are you ready to talk about the roadmap for Star Wars Outlaws?
Oh yeah, let's get into this.
Alright guys, so in case you missed it, earlier this week on Friday to be exact, Star Wars Outlaws actually released this official roadmap for what the next few months of this game is going to look like, and we got a ton of information that I don't think any of us were expecting to get, a lot of transparency to be honest with you. And the first thing that is on this roadmap, Andreas, is the next title update, that being Title Update 2, and the key focus of this update is going to be on bug fixes and improvements.
Yeah, and I think this is very welcome. I'm glad that this is an immediate update here because we've talked a great deal about bug fixes being needed. And then, of course, improvements. I don't know what that means. Improvements could be anything. But, of course, bug fixes, that is a welcome addition. I wish that we had some more specifics, and they say that we will have more details coming soon, but for me, I've run into a lot of wall clipping and going through walls. I don't know if it's just me or if all of you have this issue, but if there's a wall that can be clipped through, I find a way to clip through it somehow. I just have a nose for that kind of thing, and I would like that to be addressed. So I'm hoping that is among the bug fixes and general improvements that are being discussed with this title update.
Yeah, that would be nice, and this update is of course coming next week, that being October 3rd, and Andreas, one thing I would really like to see from this update, or at least any of these upcoming 3 updates, is just one that's really more focused on the console versions of this game. I feel like PC has been getting a ton of love, which is great. If those are things that need to be fixed, I'm happy that they are going about fixing it, but I do think that the console versions of this game do require a little more attention right now, so I'm hoping one of these updates is at least more focused on the console. And again, this one is coming out October 3rd, and then Andreas, 3 weeks later on October 24th, we will be getting Title Update 3, and this one is really interesting because this one will be all focused on quality of life improvements. What do you think that could mean?
You know, that's a great question. For me, there are some quality of life improvements that I would love to see, but I think are bigger asks than can be accomplished by late October. And what I am talking about is, we talked about this extensively throughout our review of the game, and that is that we would have loved to see a mini-map in this game. And that's something that I feel like some studios would be able to pull off after release. That sounds like a CDPR level update, like how they reinvigorated the entire wanted system within Cyberpunk. I don't think that is going to be the case here, just with the timeline, or at least I would be shocked if they were able to pull out anything substantial by October 24th. But that would be the one quality of life improvement that I personally really would like to have. Otherwise, Nick, you have any other ideas of quality of life improvements here? Like what, or at least what could be feasible at this time?
What is interesting to me about the language of this roadmap is a few days before this roadmap came out, they kind of announced this was coming in a tweet. And within that tweet, they talked about how they would be having quality of life improvements, including adjustments to combat and stealth gameplay. And then if you guys take a look at the roadmap on November 21st, which is a huge day for this game, it's almost like a second launch day, that is when we will be getting updates focused on combat and stealth. So I'm not quite sure what to expect, because if you would have asked me earlier this week what quality of life improvements I would be expecting, it would be updates to combat and stealth, but it does seem like that update will be all focused on combat and stealth. So it's going to get its own single update. So I'm not quite sure. Now, if I could pick what I would like, it would probably be something like a mini map on a Kiva, because that can be really frustrating to get around. But I am not quite sure what to expect when it comes to quality of life. Guys, let us know down in the comments if there's one thing you could change to make your quality of life when playing Star Wars Outlaws just that much better. What update would you look for when it comes to Title Update 3? We'd love to hear some of your guys' ideas, because there's probably something that we're just missing. But to move on to the next thing, I kind of mentioned it. The big day that is upcoming for Star Wars Outlaws is, of course, November 21st, Andres. That is when Title Update 4 will be coming, so we will have 3 updates between now and the end of November. That one, like I said, will be focused on combat and stealth, but that will also be the day that this game officially launches on Steam. I know that is one thing that has been really frustrating for people on PC, is that it's not available on Steam, so that will be coming at the end of November, alongside, Andreas, our first official story DLC for this game, that being Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard. We also got brand new key art for that DLC, so that is incredibly exciting. And there will also be free new content for everybody, that being additional contracts across the game from the Syndicate. So just a lot of stuff coming on November 21st. That is going to be a big day for this game, and probably a big day towards the future of perhaps what this game is going to look like for the next few years.
There's one more thing about this November 21st announcement that I want to talk about, and that is, of course, the timing of this announcement and this roadmap, because Nick, I personally felt like it was convenient timing that we were getting all of these things around the same time where AC Shadows was supposed to have that spotlight. AC Shadows, of course, gets delayed, and then I believe it's the same day where this is announced, where there's this roadmap and, hey, everybody, look at Outlaws. I hope that none of this content is being rushed to fill the void that Shadows is leaving behind on the Ubisoft calendar, and that all of this stuff is polished, ready to go, and that Wildcard is implemented seamlessly into the game and everything runs smoothly. Because if all of this stuff does get implemented smoothly and we make great strides on these bug fixes, quality of life improvements, combat and stealth improvements, we've got new additional content, we've also got the story pack and more players in the game via Steam, I think this game could be a brand new game come November, and that could really reinvigorate this title, which they've admitted at this point didn't hit the way they intended upon release. It wasn't doing as well as they hoped it would. So this might just be the lifeline that Outlaws needs at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm really excited for the potential of combat and stealth improvements, because I think that's something that when we did our review, is something that we thought really needed to be reworked, and I think that's something that a lot of people feel strongly about, is just the AI is just not where it needs to be when it comes to those mechanics, and that is such a huge part of the gameplay loop of this game. And I really do hope some of these updates over the next few months are really able to address these issues. Alongside, I really hope this new story DLC is something special, because to be honest with you, I'm just kind of tired of all of the negativity all of the time, and I know that this game has issues. I totally understand that. So I'm just hoping and praying that over the next few months they're able to clean this game up, and it really is the game that we are all hoping it was going to be when it was first announced. I think that would just be a nice welcome change in the gaming sphere for once, to just have a game that we're all happy with. I know that it's never going to be the case, because that is just how the world is these days, but would be nice. It's not bad to dream for those kind of things. But Andreas, we also got some other news this week that kind of went under the radar, and that is all about this game with the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, if you pre-ordered a PS5 Pro, I know I personally did go out and pre-order a PS5 Pro because it's something that I'm looking forward to. You will actually be able to play an enhanced version of Star Wars Outlaws on the PS5 Pro, because they went ahead and updated the Star Wars Outlaws PlayStation Store page to have that stamp of approval that says PS5 Pro Enhanced. So I'm really excited about this personally, because of course in our review we talked about different graphical issues and anomalies that were popping up on the PS5 version, which is the version that we played this game on. I, for one, have been really interested in some form of AI upscaling improvements to ray tracing, and it looks like that's what the PS5 Pro is promising. And I can't wait to dig into this game specifically on the PS5 Pro, because I think Star Wars Outlaws is exactly the type of game that I would like to see improved, which the PS5 Pro promises. So I'm really looking forward to this. And the fact that we're getting all of this new stuff in November. PS5 Pro pre-orders will be fulfilled November 7th, and then just a short few weeks after that, we get the new story pack, along with the accumulation of 3 big title updates here with all these bug fixes. And we really could be looking at a brand new game for PS5 Pro players come November. And I, for one, being in that bucket, am really excited about that, honestly.
Yeah, it would be nice to see this game closer to the version of what we saw on PC than the version that was on console when we sat down and did our review. I'm just very interested to see how it changes between the base PS5 and, of course, the PS5 Pro, especially since it is not a Sony first-party exclusive, and that's kind of what we've been seeing as the examples and with the upscaling on the PS5 Pro. Really interested to see what these third-party titles really do end up looking like. And another thing, Andres, I just want to say before we get out of here is I know it's super popular to hate on Ubisoft right now, and a lot of it they have earned. Like, I totally get that. But what I will say is I do appreciate Massive releasing a roadmap for the next few months. That is just not something that we get enough of in the gaming sphere, that when these studios either mess up or there needs to be changes to their game, just letting us know what's up and giving us this information is just a nice welcome change. And I feel like that is not something that we get enough of in the gaming sphere. So it is nice to see Massive at least communicating and being open to making these changes. So that is just a nice thing to see, and I just wanted to point that out before we get out of here. But anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on all of these upcoming gameplay updates. If there's one thing you could change, realistically, you're not going to be able to change the core gameplay. Like, this game is what it is at this point from a core fundamental level. But if there's one thing you could reasonably change in an update, what would it be? And are you excited for the upcoming story DLC? What are you hoping that's about? We kind of have an idea of it, but who are you hoping to see? What are you hoping to do? Let us know your thoughts down below. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.